Obviously, I've been trying to kind of upload stuff. As you can probably hear, there's been a few things to try and I just stopped for a sec. See, obviously I've been trying to upload kind of videos, and this is the kind of stuff that's being done. If this doesn't show you that every effort imaginable has been made to try and prevent me from putting this information out, I think nothing will. I'll just wait until that prick fucks off, being honest with you, and then I'll kind of finish my video and I'll put it back up. I'm sure they'll be back again in the morning, or usually when it's time to put my daughter to bed. So obviously I had to take a break. I didn't really take a break. I got suspended from multiple platforms, being honest with you. They wouldn't let me upload my videos. I could upload comments and stuff, strangely enough, but I couldn't upload videos. And they basically don't want this information getting out into the public. And I'm going to start kind of like speaking about my experiences that I had through the courts and at the hands of my ex. And this is not about revenge or anything like that. I just want to talk about this person's actions. And she's put up on a pedestal now up in Dublin, like some kind of role model. And she's after releasing several statements that paint me in a very bad light. She was on the two Norries in 2022, and I'm going to keep going on about this, but she basically implies that I was abusive, I was a drug-addled mess and all this, and she's off drugs since 2008. Now, I spoke about all of this in previous videos, but I'm basically going to show that what she said on the two Norries is a liar. And basically, if you can discredit this person, do you know what I mean? Like, and leaves one or two lies, but it's not one or two lies, it's like 9 or 10 lies that can be proven about this person. So it goes to show you, like, what else has this person lied about? And I believe, like, that should be called out. Yeah, so basically she's had to run into the family courts there now, trying to gag me basically, because she won't run through a civil court, or she won't run through a criminal court, because the judge will hear both sides of the story. And she doesn't want people hearing both sides of the story. And as I said, this is not about revenge or anything like that. This is not about me letting go of a relationship which was implied in court. I moved out twice to get away from this woman, and twice she used the kids to get me back. And she's going to come out of this very badly. And it's not because like I have a kind of issue with her. I'm just going to tell the truth, and the truth reflects badly on her, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, she put information out into the public, came out of her mouth. I have messages that dispute what she said, so she's going to be discredited. And every effort imaginable is being made to protect this person. And I'll tell you why. There's a campaign of sexual slander spread around by her hair clients. Try more, I don't mind saying. This went on for like 2015, 2016. And I went through Waterford Council, through the Sinn Féin network, through GAA clubs, through sports clubs. I went fucking everywhere. And people wrongly jumped to the wrong conclusion and assumed that I was abusing the kids. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's tough to say that, being honest with you, know what I mean? Because like, I don't know, does it get more tougher for a man to be wrongly accused of being a paedophile? Being honest with you, I don't really know. But that's basically what happened. And I'm going to talk about all of this because this is some crazy, crazy shit. Because as I said, I was in that Baha'i religion with her, and I left in 2014. I had enough of this. I deemed it to be a cult. And you can go back to my last two previous videos. And what I said in those videos about that woman having, Anne Carey, sorry, she's a psychologist for the HSC, her having input into my family 10 years before that, which means that she shouldn't have been, like, ethically, she shouldn't have been anywhere near me fucking family, let alone luring us into this cult. And like, this can be pulled, this paperwork, and I can be like proven to be a liar, and they can bring me to court, or they can pull the paperwork and they show that I'm speaking the truth. But we all know they've probably pulled the paperwork already, and they've seen that I'm telling the truth. So now I have to deal with this harassment on a daily fucking basis. Like, these fools over me there now, and they're knocking and banging. There's renovation work going on upstairs, and it's basically to cover over this kind of clown who's over. It's 24/7. He's over myself and my wife, banging, knocking on the floor, like every time the child goes to sleep. And I know this is to gaslight me mental health, and obviously supposed to discredit me. You say it, and then they say there's no one living in there. but there is someone living there. My wife is going to come on a later video, and we're going to talk about the stuff that's been done, being honest with you. It's called gang stalking. I don't really want to talk about too much about this because it does make it sound fucking unhinged, but I'm not unhinged. I have no mental health problems, neither does my wife. This is all kind of psychological, and it's all orchestrated by this psychologist, as I said, who had previous input into my family. There was allegations of sexual misconduct against the minor. I was the witness for the minor, and this woman covered it all up. It was against the daughter of a Tussle employee, and this psychologist, I thought she was the vanguard. She covered it all up, and I was told afterwards that she had decided to keep the guards out of it, and she decided to keep it internal, and that's what this woman and Carrie. So that's what they're really trying to cover up with all of this stuff. But when I get done kind of like revealing stuff about me ex, and it's not just me like having a go at her or nitpicking. I just want to show what she said about me is lies. That's basically it. I just want to show other lies on podcasts. She's been on various podcasts lying. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's important to call out someone that's lying. If there's proof there that someone is lying, they should be called out, and they should they not? Like, people are being kept from this information. Like, why do you think I'm really being kept from this information? Why do you think myself and my family kind of, like my wife and my daughter, has to go through all this shit on a daily basis? Like, do you know what I mean? Because we're lying. Do you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you could easily prove I was lying. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, as I said, we joined this religion. My ex was the kind of main target because she had loads of hair clients. She was a hairdresser, obviously. And she loads of hair clients out in Tramore. She was being encouraged to invite up the hair clients up to this kind of Baha'i religion, and we kind of slowly got lured into this. But that was the main kind of thing. But it was these hair clients who went around spreading all this sexual stuff about me. No one really ever checked where it came out of or how it came out of, kind of. But when they discovered like where it came out of, then it was like, let's harass his whole family and myself, and basically try and have me sent to jail or provoke me to doing something rather than admit to their faults. You know what I mean? So I'm going to talk about this, and it's going to be tough in parts, I suppose. As we were in this, my ex's friend, right, she was lured into this. She was in my psychology class as well, and she tried to tell me ex, and I tried to tell her, look, you're being manipulated here. She was at the confiding stuff about her mother. She was basically cutting the back off her mother to this woman. I'm not going to get into the details. I could to prove that I'm telling the truth, but I'm not going to. And this woman became kind of like a mother figure to her. And my ex had this kind of thing, like, well, she craves validation, and people that kind of knows my ex, they know that I'm speaking the truth here. And like, basically, I reared both the kids for years. My ex was nowhere there. She was off cutting her hair like from 9 in the morning to 9 at the night, and that's the way it was 6 days a week. And I'm not glorifying that, the fact that I was kind of like the main parent. It was just the way it is. I didn't get on with this woman, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I didn't even like her, let alone love her. And like, I know that sounds horrible, but that's the truth of it. Do you know what I mean? And she would weaponize the kids, and every time I wanted to move out, and I did move out twice, she'd get the kids to ask me to move back because she didn't have a babysitter, if I'm being honest with you. And she appeared during the two Norries in 2022, and she basically implied that I was abusive and I won't give up taking drugs in 2008. Now, there's documents that show, like, she signed over the kids to me. I had the kids 6 days a week. This was in 2014. She signed the kids over. She swore in court that we broke up in 2012. This was to cut out the whole Baha'i religion thing because this woman had input to my family, as I just said. So, like, that was another lie. But I'm going to speak more and more about this and try and be more kind of specific about it. And I'll just kind of like show that this person is extremely untrustable. Like, when I left that Baha'i in 2014, they tried for 3 months to try and get me to join. Like, they tried everything in that, and I spoke about it in my last video. Then in January 2015, my father ended up passing away. He was sick, and my ex decided to bring this Anne and Pat Carey to my father's funeral. Now, I detested these people. I was at the leaving. I don't speak to them. My family never met him. Like, I really dislike these people. And my ex decided to kind of like bring these people to my father's funeral to try and fuck with me head. because they were trying to discredit me, because I was trying to warn people that this was a fucking cult, to stay away from her, and it was going through her hair clients, being honest with you. It was around January, sorry, after my father passed away. There was lots of argument for about kind of 6 weeks. And to cut through the bullshit then, I just went in, I just lodged kind of like access, custody and guardianship in the Waterford courts. And I'm going to get off of this topic because I'm going to come back to this topic, and I'm going to like explain what was done by this woman in their kind of family courts, and what I had to do to please these courts. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to give a brief example just, right? She wouldn't let me see the kids. Now, bearing in mind I had the kids all the time, do you know what I mean? Up until she wanted to do this kind of fucking shun me out of Tramore, basically, because she didn't want me speaking the truth. And she wouldn't let me see the kids unless my sister was with me. So after 6 weeks of not seeing the kids, obviously I wanted to see the kids because I was missing the kids. Kids were missing me. She had the kids ringing up, asking when can I see you. So eventually then I agreed and had to ask my sister, look, would you come? She wants you to be there. And my sister didn't want to do it, obviously, but she agreed. And then when I was going around Tramore with the kids and my sister, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because we were getting all these crazy looks, obviously. And then it was told to me afterwards that her hair clients had spread that my sister was a social worker, and I was to be supervised with the kids, basically. There's a load of sexual stuff after been spread, basically, and people put two and two together and they assumed that I was after been interfering with the fucking kids. So you could imagine, like, as a man, like, what that would do to you, kind of, as a person. So I started the court proceedings, and I ended up having to do supervised visits for 6 weeks. Then I done supervised visits again because she breached the orders, and the judge made a court order for her to give me back photographs of my father who had passed away, that I just said, and she even broke that order. Even that order she breached. You can hear the cops there now. This is the normal thing there now. As soon as I make a video, between them now passing and these clowns upstairs. Like, I'm going to talk about the actions of this person, right? And people won't believe, like, do you know what I mean, the actions of this person, do you know what I mean? Because it's that far-fetched, and you'd be like, what kind of a person would do this to someone? Do you know what I mean? And as I said, it's not about revenge or me being fucking like not letting go of a relationship or that. And I'm just going to speak the truth. Something that she's not capable of doing is telling the truth. Like, even on a podcast, right? She tried to say she was 5'4". The woman is 5'8". Like, and you say that's a small thing. It is a small thing, but like, what else are you lying about if you can't like tell the truth on that? Saying that you were clean of drugs from 2008 when we were both taking drugs in 2010, 2011, 2012. Like, this is like, that would have helped people had you said that you relapsed and you had to go back and get help. Would that not have helped? Instead of this false kind of image that she's at the portraying. And I think it's time that this needs to be like called out, because she's going around tagging Ashley, carrying on like she like completed her aftercare. Like, do you know what I mean? You didn't complete your aftercare. We both dropped out of that as well. Do you know what I mean? Which you failed to mention on the Two Nordies podcast when you were backbiting me. For some reason you were on to talk about a hair program, and you brings me up into it. Do you know what I mean? Implying that I was abusive. You failed to mention that I turned up in court with clean urines, something that you didn't do. I turned up in court with a fucking parenting agreement, remember? That you signed, give me the kids 6 days a week in 2014. Do you know what I mean? I also done a psychiatric evaluation. And people in Waterford, right, will know what I'm after going through, and my family, being honest with you now. And they all spread this sexual kind of fucking slander, it's a list of pornography sites. It was spread first in 2016 by a neighbour of mine out in Tramore. I'll just say her name is Amanda, right? I rang the guards, obviously, straight away. And then it took me now a couple of days to get the guards involved, because they told me to just fucking rise above it, which was like obviously no good to no one. But they eventually, right, came down and they called into her, knocked at her door. They came back then and they said to me, they said, she says that she doesn't know you and she never met your ex and she doesn't know her, and she swore on it. So what could I really do? Do you know what I mean? But I had been told, several people in Tramore had told me that this was the person that had done it. And then 2 weeks after this, she comes into court, into Waterford District Court, sits beside me ex, and the two of them sits there laughing over basically what they're after doing. That was in 2016. It was done then in 2017 by the neighbours, who would be cronies of David Conlan. Same shit now, done again basically. And I was tattooing someone, and they told me that my ex was at the been kind of meeting with the neighbours. So I reported it to Waterford Gardaí, and I reported it to Waterford City Council. And Waterford City Council, Joe Daniels it was, to be specific, he told me that it was someone just trying to spook me. But yeah, I think I was only in the house 3 weeks, and she said, "Do you want the kids for the weekend?" Obviously, myself and then my now wife. We took the kids for the weekend, and as soon as the kids went back on a Sunday, struck the kids down on a Friday, took them back on a Sunday, and by Tuesday, there was a gang of about 30 people outside our front door wanting to kick in our door and all this kind of shit. So we ended up leaving the house, but we lost all our possessions, all our clothes, all our furniture. We were after getting the grant and all this kind of stuff. We were given references by Joe Daniels of Waterford City Council to try and get us to sign back over the house. They tried to say that we chose to make ourselves homes, that we chose to leave all our possessions there, we chose to leave our clothes there, and we also chose to continue paying the rent while we were living there. Like, that doesn't make any sense, does it? But all this documentation is all still available. But they won't look into it. Waterford Council won't answer me. GSOC won't answer me. Waterford Gardaí won't fucking answer me. They're all doing the same things. Do you know what I mean? So it's time now that the Minister of Justice provided some kind of legal assistance to have this kind of looked into. Like, it's getting difficult to even make these videos and put them up, being honest with you, because of the kind of harassment from this clown living up over us, being honest with you. And like, I can deal with the harassment because I just put in earplugs, being honest with you. And when my daughter, when he wakes up my daughter, when he's banging and fucking slapping and kind of, do you know what I mean? This is what's going on. But this is what's going on. It's called gang stalking, this thing. Fucking the KGB developed it. Crazy stuff. And then if you talk about it, you sound fucking unhinged or fucking mad, do you know what I mean? And if you don't talk about it, you endure it. So, but as I said, my wife wants to speak on this, so I'm trying to protect her from all of this, being honest with you, but she wants to speak on this on camera about kind of some of the stuff that's been done, because she has concerns for her home. We've already lost 2 homes, do you know what I mean? So we have concern for this home, obviously, because it's going to affect not only us but our daughter, do you know what I mean? I had a home out in Tramore. I ended up being evicted over this sexual slander. The agent, he's not even a landlord, an agent, decided to keep me fucking deposit. Pat Doyle is his name, little thief, out in Apollonian Suites. If I'm lying, he'd feel free to go to a court there now again and bring me to court. But when I approached him then for me deposit back, he ran to the guards and said that I was threatening, that there was no deposit ever paid, and he basically gave this big long statement swearing that there was no deposit and I was threatening him. And I was getting driving lessons at the time, and the guards conveniently never rang the instructor to find out what really was after happening, because I was at to give him the number saying, "Ring her, she'll tell you what happened." And I was charged, dragged through the courts, and on the second time, I found a tenancy agreement which proved that I was after paying a deposit, and basically it discredited this person and showed him to be the fucking liar that he is. And that was it. Everything was just struck out. There was no apology, no nothing. Do you know what I mean? I could have gone to jail. Even in court, the district court judge wouldn't deal with the case. He kept telling me to go get a solicitor. I said I couldn't get a solicitor over what was after happening with the family law case. No solicitor will take on my case. And this is true now, because I'm going to show documentation. I'm going to show documentation that shows that the solicitor I had totally fucked me over. And you know what she done? She fucking she had 5 years to retain me file, and she deleted the file for whatever reason. In an age of computers and all this, apparently she needed the space, but she deleted me file, destroyed it in other words, sorry. And she tried to say that the 5 years was up. And conveniently, when this was done, someone was after hacking me emails, right? And they were after deleting all my emails. And someone came into my apartment and they took all my paperwork. So I couldn't prove that the 5 years wasn't up. Do you know what I mean? So I looked like I was off my head. But then I got back some of my emails through Google Cloud. And my emails, which are still available, shows by the dates that the solicitor destroyed the file before the 5 years was up. Why would she do that? I said, yeah, my ex's hair clients were going around spreading all this sexual slander. Now, I don't really blame them, being honest with you, because they're just fucking, what do you call it, Chinese whispers. They're only like carrying what somebody else has told them, basically. But I'll say what happened, right? I tried to explain this to the judge in the district court, and he called her up to the box, and she'd done her usual crocodile tears, how I was a great father, she would never say anything like this. So fucking, there was a break then in late 2015, I think it was a Christmas break. She was after getting a safety order, sorry, at this stage. I went to give her a bag of Easter eggs from my mother and my brothers and sisters and stuff, and she started an argument. The guard that was in court had to come and give evidence to say that, like, this was not happening. Her solicitor decided to say that I started fucking on her. Do you know what I mean? And the guard had to come forward and say, well, actually, that's not what happened. They were both as bad as each other, and I told them to go their separate ways. And this was at 11:30, sorry, in the morning in court. And she went into the guard station at 7:30 that evening with a handwritten statement, and they came down and they arrested me. I was in the middle of tattooing someone, and they arrested me and brought me to court. This is just some of the stuff. And this is what I was getting at. So the judge took a break over Christmas in 2016, right? And she was out to getting the safety order. Sorry, I fool up over me. She was out to getting this safety order, right? And she wrote me a letter. Now I'm going to read this letter. I'm going to read several documents. Like, I don't have time now because I'm kind of limited to time on this, and I know I'm kind of talking fast. But she sent me this letter, and it said, due to your unthinkable actions towards the kids. Do you know what I mean? What would you say that means? So I eventually then, fucking, because my solicitor wasn't doing that, I didn't know my solicitor was playing both sides at the time. She wouldn't produce any of the evidence. And I basically ended up handing it to the judge. And fucking, he called her into the box, and she basically lied her way out of it. And the judge just even the judge didn't believe her. He was after fucking catching her several times lying at this time. He rolled his eyes, told her to kind of, don't be writing to me, don't be ringing to me, don't be contacting me. This is a person, that's what I'm saying to you. She's after lodging 4 safety orders against me and 3 maintenance. That's 7 court hearings. I only found out there the other day, actually. There was actually a protection order as well. Now, like, most of these I don't even know. I've never broke any of the safety orders. But yes, she's able to get 4 of them. Do you know what I mean? I've never missed a week's payment on any of the maintenance. But yes, she's able to drag me through the courts time and time again. And only recently, and I mean literally only 2 weeks ago, today's the 6th of October, 2 weeks ago then I was contacting the Dublin family courts to find out kind of what day she lodged this and what day she lodged that, basically, and they were kind of polite. And then one person became very kind of like very rude, let's just put it that way. This person made a big deal about saying basically that my ex had come into court and specifically said that I wasn't to have her address. No, I hadn't even asked for her address. This totally came out of the blue. So I basically ended up saying, look, put me onto your superior. I'm not happy with this. I want an apology, because my ex is basically trying to have me like sent to fucking jail to cover up her lies. So to cut a long story short, they ended up having to apologise for this person who was on first names basis. I know now I'm talking fast and this is hard to kind of, it's probably hard to make out. But I'm going to talk about like this woman's kind of input. And unfortunately, what she's doing there now, she's saying that like what I'm saying, by exposing her lies, that her kids are finding out and it's affecting their mental health. So this is why she bring me back to fucking a family court again. Do you know what I mean? So she's basically trying to get her lies hidden, but she's been guided every step of the way by this psychologist and Carrie. 100%, she needs to be struck off as a doctor. Any person that has this woman on their case. Do you know what I mean? She's employed by Waterford Tussle. How in God's name is this woman employed by the HSE? Do you know what I mean? But this whole kind of sexual kind of shame and this slander thing, this is a thing that's done now, this Baha'i religion that we were in. Fucking Scientologists use this as well. It discredits people and it ostracizes you from your community, shuns you basically. It's a horrible, horrible thing now. I'd be kind of antisocial anyway, if I'm being honest with you, so it's kind of water off a duck's back, but fucking, do you know what I mean? It's not really kind of fair on me wife, and fucking me mother went through hell at this stuff now, being honest with you. And now I fear for my daughter over it. And there's a mountain of evidence that they can just pull or look into just to see whether or not I'm fucking lying or whether or not they're lying. Do you know what I mean? But I guarantee you, they've already checked everything that I've said and they've seen that I'm telling the truth. And this is why we have kind of the Garrows and fucking members of Sinn Féin and Waterford Council, etc., etc. This is why they're all tripping over each other, doing everything in that to try and provoke me and try and intimidate me. Like, I not want to be intimidated, being honest with you. I'm past all that fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? And if there's that going to be done to me, it's going to be done to me one way or the other. So like, I'm not going to fucking worry about it. And then the second time this sexual shaming was done, this was 2017 by cronies of David Conlan, right? At the time then, Mr. Conlan sent me wife a friend request. Now I uploaded this several times, and first they tried to say that it was fake. First they tried to say that myself and my wife were lying basically, like we're not lawyers. And then they tried to say that it came from a fake account. But it wasn't, because myself and my wife actually went through his whole page, like fucking, do you know what I mean? So it was 100% from him, do you know what I mean? He's just a glorified fucking liar, let's be honest about it. But because he has the stigma that's attached to Sinn Féin, the likes of his up the rag comments, like, do you know what I mean? People are kind of reluctant to speak out and say it like it is. Do you know what I mean? Like his whole friendship with John Halligan, ex-mayor, ex-minister, and we all know now kind of like the whole Halligan's input into children's group Blink, a charity that they carry on like they own the place. And there's so many questions around kind of the historic sexual abuse claims that have gone on up there. The guards, Waterford Gardaí, have repeatedly breached protocol, and they have not followed protocol to hold a certain person responsible. And they're covering all this up. And it kills them that I'm talking about this. And it's not because I'm lying, because they would bring me to the court, would they not? Do you know what I mean? I have documents, I have messages, and I have emails, and they know I had that. But my point being is John Halligan, ex-mayor and ex-minister, right? His family and anything to do with that children's group link needs to be scrutinised, and that's a fact, 100%. There's a lot of questions, unanswered questions up there. When was the first time there was allegations of abuse reported? What was the procedure taken? Did the person who was reported, did they back out of it over the conflict of interest? Do you know what I mean? They shouldn't be frightened of these questions. If they've nothing to hide. There's the guard, see, passing again. This happens every time I'm making a video. See, there you go. This will happen again there. There you go. But anyway, I'll just try and ignore it, because it's kind of preventing me from making me videos. Yeah, John Halligan and David Conlan, there's a reason why the two of them, right, forever, like, defend each other. And you go back through all of this, ever before me or any of this kind of stuff, you can look, the two of them are constantly defending each other. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Like, I send private emails out to Ballybeg Church, and the secretary at Ballybeg Church printed off these emails, kept them from the priest who was a family friend, and he passed them back to who? David Conlan. Who was the secretary out in the church? Henry Halligan, John Halligan's brother. Do you know what I mean? Who was the CEO of Children's Group Link when the allegations of sexual abuse was reported? Mary Halligan. How many times was there sexual abuse claims reported to her? On what date? On what date did she contact Tussle? On what date did she bring in the guards? These are all like normal questions. Do you know what I mean? It's only if there's like some kind of like discrepancy in the answers. Like, I uploaded a video onto TikTok there not long ago where you see Ray Halligan basically trying to pass a threat through me to one of the girls, a potential witness in one of the cases. You can hear him like specifically say, tell Lawan up Children's Group Link passenger the information, and the guards won't look into it. They won't fucking, they're doing everything in that, and I said look into it. They tried to say that I'd have to be charged for him to be charged, right? Thinking that I was going to back out of it. So I said, fine, charge me then. And then they said, oh wait, no, there's no evidence there. They refused to take my wife's statement. Go back and have a look at this video, it's on my TikTok. I suppose I'm going to leave it there. I know I might have been jumping back and forth to fucking like one thing to another thing, do you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to do all this on my own. And as you probably heard there now, you have the guards constantly circling me kind of apartment, kind of, and have these clown up over me constantly making noise. I suppose I'm going to leave it there. I know I might have been jumping back and forth to fucking like one thing to another thing, do you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to do all this on my own. And as you probably heard there now, you have the guards constantly circling me kind of apartment, kind of, and have these clown up over me constantly making noise. So yeah, so I'm going to start like explaining this, and I'm going to show documentation. If you look at my last two videos, I think they're on YouTube. I started explaining this kind of how I ended up joining this Baha'i with my ex, right up to leaving it was when my father passed away, and I'm going to explain this woman's actions throughout like the 14 months in court. And yeah, I done everything to please the judge, and he eventually awarded me the kids, and she literally laughed at me outside the court. That's no word of lie. She literally laughed at me outside the courtroom. She said, "You don't think I'm going to stick to that?" And she just broke it. She breached the orders, and she breached the order giving me. To this day, I never got the photographs of my father back. Do you know what I mean? So I find it a bitter pill to swallow listening to this person on the Two Norries podcast fucking lying repeatedly from A to B. And it's about time somebody call these people out. Do you know what I mean? Talk about gender discrimination. If that was vice versa, there'd be a whole different kind of approach to it. And I have been writing now to the Minister of Justice, Ms. McEntee. I've also been sending evidence behind the scenes. I'm after sending up multiple kind of snippets of evidence regarding this and regarding that. And she needs now to call for an inquiry into all of this. And that's the only thing to handle this. Like, let's have an inquiry. I clearly can't go through GSOC about the guards and their behaviour because they're not even answering me. I can't go to Waterford Council. They won't answer me. I can't go to the LSRA, this is the Law Society. They cover for the solicitor. Despite the fact that there's paperwork showing the dates, I've got back the paperwork so I can prove that she's lying. Do you know what I mean? I can prove, I have documented regarding Waterford Council. Do you know what I mean? So I can prove that. I can prove like me ex is like lying repeatedly, so I can prove that there's documentation with that. So I'm going to leave it there, because I'm just going to keep going on, I suppose, otherwise. And what I'll do is I'll try and slowly break it down, and I'll try and provide the documentation. I'll explain it, and I'll explain what the documentation is before I move on, because I'm trying to stick to a timeline, and they're trying to do everything in that to kind of make me feel stressed, or kind of like basically impede me from giving this information out to the public. The public deserves to have this information. Do you know what I mean? And you can make your own minds up. You can deem me then to be paranoid or fucking off my head or whatever. But as I said, the paperwork doesn't lie. As I can only upload 10 minutes onto TikTok, this might be uploaded in 3 parts onto TikTok, but the full version I'll upload onto my YouTube channel. And as I said, I'm going to show documentation. I know I'm constantly saying this, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of harassment going on that's preventing me from making these videos. And you can make your own minds up why there's this amount of harassment that's going on. It's basically to prevent me from kind of revealing what I'm about to reveal, basically. So I'll leave it there, and I'll welcome any kind of court action against me if I'm lying or if I'm deemed to be slandering anyone. By all means, bring it against me. So leave it there.